So today's segment is going to be talking about a new licensed Transformer product, but also kind of looking at the price evolution and the way the price has been inflating over the years in relation to Transformers roleplay product. Now, today's discussion is about yet another roleplay replica helmet done by the company of Modern Icons. And this is a company that we talked about, I want to say back in March, where they were going to be doing these GameStop and in Canada EB Games exclusive replica helmets. Now, this company has done helmets in the past, specifically with the Mega Man brand. They did it with a few other companies. And in March, they announced that they were going to be doing Transformer stuff. More specifically, they showed off and announced their G1 Optimus Prime replica helmet. And it looked, I don't know, it looked okay. Didn't look anything too crazy. I mean, it was nice, kind of a weird kind of, metallic sheen to it. And I guess it would find its market and people that would enjoy it. You know, it had LED lights that glow on it. It had the voice and phrases of Optimus Prime. It pretty much did all the same things. And of course, it's all push button activated, works on 3 AA batteries. It was very similar to that of what the 2007 roleplay movie Optimus Prime helmet was, done by Hasbro all those years ago. Now, granted, that one didn't have the LED light up eyes, but it pretty much had everything else that this product pretty much listed. And back then in 2007, it was $39.99. This Optimus Prime one is $129.99. Now, granted, it's a company that's licensing it out, so they got to get their license fees back. And it has the LED light up eyes, which, while aren't really that much of a discrepancy in value, it's there, so that's something different. But when I look back at the old Optimus, and then I started looking at the price charting and the inflation of value and everything like that, it almost felt like it was leading to this moment. And what will be the product that I'm going to talk about today, which is that of the G1 Megatron helmet. But let's go back in time. So again, 2007 movie Optimus Prime helmet done directly by Hasbro, $39.99. It has, voice activated stuff. It has a voice changer gimmick. It has lines from the movie. It has sound effects. Could be strapped to the head. A lot of cool little gimmicks and stuff there that, in all honesty, I feel would balance out the LED lights, because it's all really cheap mechanical stuff at the end of the day for a company. In 2009, we had the Bumblebee Helmet, which did more or less the same thing as the Optimus Prime one, except now instead of changing your voice, it changes your voice to beeps and boops and stuff like that too. It still had a voice change gimmick, just not directly your voice. And because it was Revenge of the Fallen and they were coming off of the high of the 2007 movie, Hasbro had increased the price of those helmets from $39.99 to now $49.99, just 2 years later. And to show that there really was no difference, they re-released the Optimus Prime helmet from 2007, now in Revenge of the Fallen packaging, and also charged $49.99. 10 years of increase in value within 2 years of its initial release. And then we go all the way to the last night, which was 8 years later, from 2009 to 2017, and they took that original Optimus Prime helmet, they resculpted it to make it match the aesthetic of that of the last night, and released it in 2017 for $100, $99.99, a $50 increase in 8 years. Really makes me scratch my chin. And now since that Optimus helmet, that last night one, we're 4 years later now in 2021. And this one was shown in March. And granted, like I said before, Modern Icons, they're licensing it. It's not directly by Hasbro. And it does have the LED lights, although it doesn't have a voice change thing. So there's some kind of argument that could be said that the evolution of value, not value, I think value would be the incorrect thing, but the evolution of inflation cost has led to this $129.99. And that Optimus one is planned to come out August 16, 2021. I don't know. When I see how cheap it was to manufacture this in 2007, I can't even give the inflation argument. It just feels like it's, at this point, it's a cash grab. Now we have the Megatron one that was announced today. And I will say this, it looks way better than the Optimus Prime one. It looks fantastic, in all honesty. Looks really good, matches the animation model. I think it looks great. Does all the same things that the Optimus does. Has the light up LED eyes, has the Megatron phrases and the voice and the sounds, and also works on 3 AA batteries. And slightly cheaper, which is even more peculiar. Maybe the pre-orders on the Optimus weren't doing so well, so they decided to make it a little cheaper. A $20 difference, even though they look like they're pretty much the exact same thing in terms of manufacturing. Maybe there's a little more plastic in the Optimus, but the Megatron helmet, despite it being more or less the same thing, is $109.99, a $20 difference, which really says to me a lot about how they decide the prices on this stuff. And again, looking back at that Optimus Prime helmet back in 2007 for $39.99, I think they're just making up numbers at this point. And I'll be honest with you, I do know it for a fact, because when they were making those Mega Man helmets, when they were making the Mega Man blasters and all that stuff, and they were GameStop and EB Game exclusives, those things would go on 50% clearance easily. And we knew GameStop was still making profit, even on the 50% clearance. So I think that the cost of manufacturing measured against the cost of purchase, there's a huge number there, So if this does interest you, but the price is maybe making you lean on the fence a little bit and you don't know which side to go on, wait it out. See what happens. The Megatron looks great. The Optimus I'm not feeling, and I'm an Autobot guy before I am a Decepticon guy, but the Megatron one looks way better. But if you are considering getting this, but you're just not too sure because it might affect your bank account in a very negative way, wait it out. Wait it out, because I know that I bought that Proto Man one, the Proto Man Mega Man Blaster. I bought that at full price, and then man did it hurt when only like a couple months later that thing was like, I think 80% off. And then I just got a second one just for the hell of it because it was 80% off. I think it ended up being like $19 or something, as opposed to $100 and something. It was crazy. So wait it out. Let's see what happens, and maybe it'll work out in the end. But I dig the Megatron. I think it looks really good. I'll post some images at the bottom there. You can make that decision. But with this kind of role-play stuff and the cost of manufacture versus the price, I feel like we're getting taken to town here.